Hi everyone. I just wanted to take a moment to talk with you a little bit about why I'm doing this. Why telemedicine? I've heard people say things to me like, Chris, you're such a personable person. Like, you're an osteopath. You're a physician whose whole training has been all about being close to people and putting your hand on their shoulder and building relationships that way. How can you do telemedicine, when you're looking at a screen all day? And I've spent a lot of time thinking about this, and I realize that there are some limitations with doing things over the internet. I don't get that close connection that you do in person. And that's something that is going to be hard for me. However, I've also taken a step back and recognized that the way the medical world works right now is there is so much pressure on the doctor-patient relationship. There's so much pressure to be fast, to document, to get in and out, to move on to the next person. The experience is really, it's suffering right now. And all doctors, whether they're MDs or DOs or other professionals, they're all feeling it, and they all feel that constraint. I want to connect with my patients. I want to know what's going on in their lives, but I don't have time for it. So in recognizing that, I thought, even if I want to be the true osteopath that I'm trained to be, unless I do something on my own, most of the way that it's set up is such that I cannot actually express that or build that kind of relationship like I want. Now, I've been very fortunate to work in some settings where they do give you a little bit more time to connect with patients, and they recognize that you can't just see everybody in a 6-minute appointment and get them well. So there are some practices out there that are really trying to acknowledge that time is an important thing, and it's precious between a physician and the patient. I want to mention one practice in particular here in the Grand Rapids area called the Christian Healthcare Center. They're a membership-based practice, and I think what they're doing is phenomenal. I mean, they're really trying to create an environment that is supportive of the doctor-patient relationship. So that might raise some other questions, which I don't necessarily need to get into here, but from my point of view and from my practice, I was thinking, I can't do what I want to do in the systems that, that I've been hired in necessarily. Do I want to start my own practice? Meh. That's really expensive and really risky and really time consuming, kind of a scary thing. But then what I thought? This is a really interesting time in history, where we have, like I mentioned before in one of my videos, just the perfect merging of various things, opportunities, the technology, the internet infrastructure, the fact that we have got the devices in our pockets and in our bags and all of these things. And there are companies that are developing ways to make the patient experience way more efficient and convenient, like traveling nurses or traveling phlebotomists. There are online dispensaries like the FullScript website that I'm using to send supplements. So there's a lot of pieces that are kind of coming together, and I thought, what? I think patients deserve to have the same sort of conveniences with medicine that they do with their online shopping or, ordering all sorts of things and doing it online, the virtual thing. So, and then for me personally, the timing was just kind of right, where I was leaving one position and I didn't really have anything nailed down. I had a couple things in the air that could have worked and maybe would have worked, but they just weren't kind of coming together. So, for me, as I was praying and talking with my wife about it, I thought, I'm going to try this. If I don't do it, somebody is. Somebody's going to learn how to build an online practice and, give awesome care to people using the technologies that are available. So timing was right, and it seemed like the Lord was pushing me in that direction. So here I am. I'm still kind of figuring things out. I've been seeing patients online now for about 3 weeks, And it was pretty exciting. Even on my first day, I had, I don't know, 6 or 7 patients that I saw. And it was awkward at first, but now that I've seen a few hundred, it's like, this is kind of fun. And the patients really do like it. It's so convenient, and I can handle prescriptions and, referrals and all sorts of things like that just over the internet. And you don't have to take off work. You don't have to take your kids out of school. Gosh, I've even had a number of patients who were on vacation. They were literally en route. They were driving, they weren't, the patient wasn't driving, but they were on the road driving up to Traverse City, and she says, I got this thing going on, and I diagnose her, and she says, yeah, I put in a pharmacy up in Traverse City where we're headed. And I said, great, I'll send over the prescription right there. So she arrived at her destination and picked up her prescription. Isn't that awesome? So I really think that those sorts of conveniences should be part of your medical experience. I think the other thing I want to talk about briefly here is that, to me, being a doctor is more than just prescribing medicines. When I think back to before I was actually a doctor, and I thought, why am I doing this? Do I want to just write prescriptions, make diagnoses? I mean, it is rewarding, but I wanted more than that. I wanted it to connect to me as a person. I wanted to build relationships. I wanted to get spiritual fulfillment from it. And kind of like what I was talking about earlier, sometimes the existing environments don't foster, quite the environment where you can do that. I mean, you can, and it just takes a little bit extra work and time. So here in this online world, I can do videos like this. I can share more personal things about me, and hopefully you get to know me a little bit better, and I can kind of multiply that. So I do one video like this and lots of people can see it. And so in a sense, it sort of saves me time, and it accelerates my ability to connect with you, or at least you can kind of connect with me and know who you're getting. Obviously, for me to get to know you better, we need to have appointments, and I need to just hear from you. And I hope to do that. I really want to, and I hope to build some relationships with people through this medium. But I think a big part of a patient opening up to their doctor is their patient, you knowing who I am and what I stand for. So if I can kind of give you that through these videos, then maybe there'll be a little more, we can speed up the closeness that we feel through the appointments. At least that's my hope. I do plan to get into a little bit more of my story and how I became a doctor and kind of the journey. To me, for all of us who are on long paths, or even short ones, there's bumps in the roads, and there's times when you question what you're doing. But I will say that for me and my faith, that was such a huge part in getting me to where I am right now. I mean, even just thinking about that kind of gives me a little bit of chills, because I really believe it was the Lord who brought me to this point. That doesn't mean I'm a perfect doctor or infallible or anything like that. It just means like I trust Him. Yeah, there we go. So anyway, I'm letting you get to know me a little bit here, and I hope it is edifying for you, and I really hope that we can connect. So keep leaving me feedback, send me emails, find me on the Facebook page. Hey, it's great talking with you guys, and I hope this has been helpful. I'll be doing this sort of thing a lot more frequently now that I've got an infrastructure going on my website there. So, all right, God bless you guys. Talk with you soon.